Hey guys, welcome back to another video on the Chinese Zodiac and horoscope. Today, I am not going to be doing an ordinary reading or what I would usually do as I have been. I am coming on today to do an almost extension of my disclaimer video, but also to kind of make a start on the video sort of series that I wanted to do, which is introducing the Chinese Zodiac in more of a sort of educational manner to teach people, or not teach. I'm not here to teach. I'm not here to teach. I'm not an authority in this. I am here to share my own sort of journey and what I've learned. So I'm not here to teach you. I'm here to share what I've already been taught or what I've already learned. You can take that how you want, but by no means am I claiming to be an expert. So firstly, what I'd like to do is I'd like to thank everybody who has hit that subscribe button so far. We have now reached a staggering 100 subscribers, which isn't a lot in the grand scheme of things, but so quickly in a month to jump up that fast, I see that as a personal achievement. I also see it as very, it's almost validating in a way. It is very encouraging because I'm experimenting here. This is just an experiment, really. Usually, as I've said previously, and I know some people are new to the channel, so you've probably not seen my earlier videos, but previous to using these Chinese Oracle cards, which we'll get onto in a minute, I usually, or used to, or mainly use my Dragon Oracle cards. These are the cards I use. I'm not new to card readings. I read cards, I read runes. I'm a relatively psychic kind of orientated person. My third eye is relatively clear. I'm pretty good intuition wise. I've got friends on the other side that I like to sort of converse with and reflect with and meditate with. It's not a new thing. So I do appreciate people asking, the questions like, how long have I been reading the cards, or how long have I been doing this, and things like this. However, it's not as easy as I picked up these cards over a month ago and I've been doing these videos, because there have been a lot of other things that I've been doing in the background as just more of a hobby and just for my own kind of enjoyment. As I say, with the Dragon Oracle cards, I've also got Druid Oracle cards, I've got runes, I've dabbled in all these things. However, on the side of that, parallel to that, I've also been studying the Chinese Zodiac as almost a separate thing. And it's something that I've been using this book for here, which is the Chinese horoscope book by Theodora Lau and Laura Lau. This is like a Bible to me. This is an oracle of information and amazing stuff. This book has done wonders. And this isn't a promotion video. I don't get any sort of, revenue through adverts or promoting it. I just really do recommend it. I recommend this book. I recommend Theodora Lau. I find it fascinating, and it's a hobby. It's a hobby of mine to study it and to observe people. I've been doing this for years, and those early subscribers will know more about this because I've spoken about this a lot more previously. But this is more of an experiment of just how much more the Chinese Zodiac and horoscope can help us as people with, as I like to call it, conflict resolution. And that's one of my primary things. I started studying psychology and doing a psychology diploma level 3. And I slowly transitioned over to using the Chinese horoscope to help me understand people and to understand the relationships between people and how they kind of work amongst each other. I am part of a lot of social events and gatherings and festivals and things like this. So I do get a unique opportunity to see many, many people come together. And if I can learn their Chinese Zodiac, I can observe them. I can witness them being the personalities in which the book describes, and they don't even know it. So they're not acting. They're not putting it on because they've read it. They don't know what I know. They don't know the information I have here. And when I find out that they're born in May 1989, which makes them a snake, they don't know they're a snake. And if they do, they don't know the information that this book has on them. So I use that and I observe that and I learn from that, and I've gained some great knowledge while doing that. This book here, as I say, it's been a fantastic tool. It really has. And of course, it's all open to interpretation. It's all dependent on how you look at it. But I am as skeptical when it comes to some things, and I have to believe something. I have to see it. I have to see something in order to say, yep, that's got some sort of credit or some sort of fact to back it up. Horoscopes, zodiacs, tarot cards, readings, runes, things like this. You can have your own decision on that. You can have your own perspective on that. You can choose to believe what you wish to believe. Nobody's here to tell you that you can't or you should or you shouldn't or you could or you wouldn't or whatever. We're not doing a 21st century witch hunt here on who believes what or who resonates with what. That's not what this is. What I am trying to sort of figure out is how this book fits in with everything, how this information is doing what it's doing. It's one of life's little mysteries, I suppose. But there is definitely some credit to this book and the information it holds. And I started off, as I say, skeptical. And I had to spend a long time observing people within my own family, my own social circles, people that I used to work with, people that I currently work with, people that are around me, people that I meet randomly, even people in my local supermarket that work there, people in the surrounding area. I know a lot of people's Chinese zodiacs, and I've made it my life's mission to try and figure out how much this book actually can help with, and surprisingly it's done incredibly well. It's only this year I've decided to merge my love of the Chinese Zodiac with my almost, I suppose, love of all things magical and mystical, and to explore more into my sort of psychic side of things and broadcast it and put it out there. And this originated from my own reading that I had done before Christmas. I went to an independent psychic, an independent tarot reader. I highly recommend him if you live in the south of England and you ever come to a village called Burley. There is a shop in Burley, the Coven of Witches. Again, this isn't a promotion. I don't work there or anything. I just think it's a pretty cool shop. But it's called the Coven of Witches in Burley. And in that shop, there is a psychic reader who does tarot cards called Rudy. And he is very good. He is, again, highly recommended. And I've never used him before. I've never been to him before. I've never paid for a reading before, ever. But I thought spontaneously that I would get a reading done because I was in a place of confusion or indecisiveness. And one of the first things he said to me was, I need to pick up a pack of cards. I need to use my psychic abilities. I have very strong psychic abilities. I don't even need cards or runes. I just have a very good way of reading people and reading energies, and my intuition is bang on. And to hear a experienced card reader, an experienced psychic, somebody who is very clairvoyant, say this to me did give me the confidence to say, okay, let's go and start dabbling in this side of things. Let's start looking more into it. And that's when I really sort of thought about how I can use what I have to help me. As I say, I've always used cards, I've always used runes, but more personally. As I say, I've got my dragon cards and I've got my druid cards. I've never done anything like this before, using cards. So to do this, I had a choice. I either use my dragon deck, which I use for personal reasons, or for private, more personal readings for other people, friends, close families, people like this. I use those cards. Now for this series, for this channel, for these videos, I wanted something completely new. I thought I could either use these or I could get something new. And that's when I found these cards here, which are the Chinese Oracle cards, which I have to admit, at first, really put me off because, if you've been following the videos and the readings, you'll know one of the things about these cards, which is new, which I've never experienced before with a deck of cards, is they've split the deck, black and white. So we've got the yin and yang there of the Chinese Zodiac, positive and negative, male and female energies there. And that threw me off a bit because when I'm shuffling, I can see the cards. And we've had this dilemma, as I say, if you've been subscribed from the beginning, you'll know that this whole shuffling the cards thing is actually a bit of a dilemma for me, because I don't like to see if it's black or white, because as I'm shuffling, like now, this is an example, I can see that's black. That's black. I don't want to pull a black card out on anybody, do I? Why would I want to do that? When do I stop shuffling? When do I stop shuffling? Because now I'm being influenced by what I can see, not what I can feel. So I opted for closing my eyes when I shuffle. That has mixed results, of course, because I fumble and I find it difficult to obviously see what I'm doing. But closing my eyes allows me to pick a fairer reading when it comes to the cards. And the way it works really is the black card is the negative. And I know people will be like, well, it's all about balance and things like this. And that's a great perspective to have. But to keep things simple, we're looking at it from the negative perspective. The way these cards work is there's negative and there's positive. I can't change that. I didn't make that up. I didn't say that that's how it's going to be. It's just how it is. If I pick a black card, that is from a negative perspective, because that's how it works. And if we're talking about balance, it's the same when you pick a white card. You pick that white card, it's positive. And the thing with it is people can be so finical. People can be so picky when it comes to the wording of things. So if I say, oh, it's bad, or it's good, or it's negative, or it's positive, people have their own interpretation of that. So if you have been following the videos, you'll know that I tend to stick with a more simpler version of the black and white. I stay away from positive and negative. I stay away from the good and bad. I stay away from these things. What I tend to focus more on is white means it could be worse. You might not feel everything's great. You may not feel like things are good, but white is it could be worse than what you're going through. It could be worse. The negative card, the black card, that bad card, it could be better. That's basically it. I've said this previously. I didn't realize that, I'd have to keep kind of reminding people of this, but I have to obviously take into account that new subscribers are joining all the time and wouldn't necessarily see the previous videos where I've described the usage or how I use the cards in this way. Black, it could be better. White, it could be worse. It's relatively simple. It's as simple as I can make it. What I've also adopted is reminding people in a lot of the videos recently is black does not mean an attack. It doesn't mean that all is doom and gloom. Black is not an attack. And equally, with that balance in mind, white isn't always all right. Sometimes the white cards can be bad. Sometimes the black cards can be good. And there is good and bad in this, because everybody perceives things in a good way or a bad way, depending on how they're looking at it, how they're involved, the environment around them, the situation and the circumstances. I can't change that. That's just the way it is. The black is negative. The white is positive. For the sake of the cards and using them in the way that I use them, I have to differentiate between the two, because they give off different meanings, different readings, different things. And the thing with it is, as well, as much as there is balance here and it's all about the energy or the vibration or how you see it in a negative or positive way, and then you've got karmic kind of universal law kind of coming into play. At the end of the day, if I say it's good, it's good. If I say it's bad, it's bad. I'm the psychic here. I'm the one reading the cards. I'm the one using what I've got in order to interpret this in the way that I feel it is. If you want to disagree with it, that's fine. If it doesn't resonate with you, that's okay. But that doesn't change the fact of the process. I can't alter the process. I can't change the process. I'm not going to change the process or how I've been doing it, because the previous month has taught me that there are people out there that this is resonating with a lot. And more people are finding that it's resonating with them more and more. So yeah, I could say that black is a bad card, but then if I'm not feeling that, I'm basically telling everybody who's having a good time right now they're going through a bad time because that card is black. And if I don't feel that, then I'm just lying to myself and lying to everybody else for the sake of but it's a black card. Or if I tell everybody that, don't worry, everything is great right now because you've got a white card, I'm lying to myself and I'm lying to everybody else if I feel like it is still in the negative. White doesn't always mean all right, and black doesn't always mean an attack. That's the best way I can put it when it comes to this, because as I say, it's the first time I've ever actually had cards that came in black and white, basically, in two sets. It's basically two sets of cards. One white deck and one black deck merged together. And of course, that makes it so there's two of every card. So we've got the black rabbit and the white rabbit. One of them's got to be positive, one of them's got to be negative. That's just the law of logic. And that's the way that we read the cards. That's the way that I read the cards. It's the way that it's been done from the beginning. It's like the order that I pull the cards out in. The first few videos I was still kind of adapting or evolving the kind of shuffle or how I pick the cards. But in the end, the way I wanted to kind of do these readings was almost like a week before your current place and a week to come kind of thing. That was the idea that I had when it came to the readings. So it made sense that I would pick, after shuffling, a card from the bottom for the past, or, you know, that has come to past. And then I've got this one here from the middle, which would be the current situation. It's in the middle. And then the one from the top for that kind of future week. So this is like a hypothetical reading, just to give you an idea of what it is that what I'm doing here. And as I would say, depending on your personality, depends on the reading, or what year you were born, depends on what the reading will obviously hold for you. But anybody, it doesn't matter what sign you are, horse, dragon, dog, pig, it doesn't matter what you are, from this moment, at this current time, this is your reading, which would be two whites and a black. So straight off the get-go, those white are positive. You can't change that. You can't. That's how it is. They're positive cards. And then you've got a negative, which is black. So it just stands for reason that the week that this person's just had and the current place they're in is a good one. It doesn't always work like that. It could be a lot better, but it could be worse. And this is what that kind of is. It's just a positive place that person or personality is in right now. That black card, of course, it's perceived as bad. It's seen as negative. It's seen as that kind of, oh no, doom and gloom. But we don't know that yet. So it could be good, it could be bad. At this point, we can see that somebody has had a better week than other people. 3 black cards is going to be a bad week. I say bad because who's having a good time when you've got 3 negative cards in your deck or in your reading? Who? I mean, it's just logic here, and it's also, as I say, my intention. So when I'm pulling my cards or the readings for other people, my intention is there of what that card is for. So before I've even turned these cards over, I've already got a feel that this card for the last week, my intention was to pull a card for the last week. And if it's white, it's a positive card. It's that simple. This card here, my intention was to pull a card out for the future week. It's black. It's going to be a bleak week almost. But it depends, because as we turn them over, just like for a quick reading, you got that monkey card. Now the monkey card is a doer. It's part of the doer triangle. And in this little series of videos that I'm going to do that aren't readings, I am going to go over more about these personalities and the conflict lines and the sort of compatibilities and things. I will go over that, so make sure you hit that subscribe button to tune in. For now, I'm just giving you a little bit, as I say, a rundown of how I do this and almost like an extension of the disclaimer. But there's a monkey card there. Now, the monkey is a doer card. Again, I can't change that. I can't change what the monkey represents. When I say the monkey is mischievous, when I say the monkey is a selfish person, he can be manipulative, he's egotistical, he's very hands-on, is a doer, very intelligent, smart, social person, that's just the monkey. That's just how it is. Equally, I can't change the compatibility with the monkey. If you are a dragon, if you are a rat, this is a great card for you to have because the dragon and the rat are in your triangle. That's how I read it. But if you are let's say a tiger, the opposite of the monkey, completely different reading. If you're a dog, if you're a horse, if you're an ox, completely different reading because the compatibility is different, and that's what I'm reading. I'm reading the compatibility between you and the card. If you are a rat and I pull out this monkey card, that's going to be a good card. Doesn't matter if it's white or black. Forget the white or black. Forget yin and yang. Forget balance. Forget that kind of that. Forget it. At this point now, we flip the card. So if you're a rat, a dragon, you're compatible with the monkey, this is a good card. But if you are a tiger, doesn't matter that it's white. It can be a bad card because the tiger is the opposite of the monkey. So it will all depend on the relationship between whatever's on this card and your personality. And that's how I read it for the week. And I use the Theodora Lau Chinese horoscope book here as reference if I do get stuck sometimes. But as I say, I've been studying it for years, so I do have a good comprehension of the compatibilities. I know a lot. So it's rare that I have to look back in the book, but I keep it in hand just in case, especially for some of the more complex relationships or ones that I've not come across before. But that's basically it. I'll read the monkey compatibility to whatever personality it is that I'm reading the reading for. Rat, ox, rabbit, doesn't matter. It's all about that compatibility. Same with this, as we move into where we are currently, there's the tiger. So now what I read is I don't just read the fact that they're both white cards, but I also read the fact, or look into the order of which they've come through. Monkey, then the tiger, opposed to the tiger and the monkey. What does that mean? Again, different for every single personality. I also look at the fact that the monkey and the tiger are opposites. They are in a conflict line. So what can that mean with the opposites? And again, depends on the sign that you are. If you're a monkey person, the tiger's not going to be a great card for you. But because we've had the monkey previously, it could be just that you need to change your perspective of things. If you are a horse or a dog, great tiger to have. Have that card and job done. You're in a good place, and that would be a good place. I can't change that. When I say good or bad, it's dependent on what I'm feeling because of the logic that comes with, well, I say logic, the information that I have that's based around the compatibilities. This is a good card for horses, dogs, dragons, sheep. You know, this is a good card for those almost. Not a great card for snakes or monkeys or, you know, it all depends on the compatibility of you and the cards. And then we'll come over into the black one, which again is this sheep here. Now, I've said this before. I say sheep because the book says sheep, but the goat and the sheep are the same. I've said this many times. It's the same as the boar and the pig, the cow and the ox. They are the same. They've just got different names. That's it. I mean, it's as simple as that. I can't really explain it better than that. The goat here, that is a catalyst card because the catalyst triangle is the goat, the pig, and the rabbit. So whenever I get this, I see it as catalyst. I see it as change. I see it as something coming. But it depends on not what, if it's black or white, if it's negative or good, or positive or whatever. I see it as, what is this saying about the sign that I'm pulling up here? Like if you're a rabbit, good card. Good card. If you're an ox, bad card. Bad. I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is. I don't necessarily care if you like my usages of the words good or bad here. It's just how it is. Because of the compatibility, whether that compatibility is good or bad. And then overall, we'll look at this all together. What can it mean in a series of cards? And I'm not going to go too much into this because if you watch the videos and the actual readings, then you'll obviously know how I do it. I'm just doing this hypothetical to kind of give you an idea of how I'm reading the cards and how I'm doing it. It's a very almost unique way of doing things because I'm solely relying on my own knowledge and intuition here, what I actually feel. The Chinese Zodiac cards actually come with a book here, As you can see, the spine is pretty much unbent because I don't even open it really. I don't really look at it. And they recommend that the readings that you do is a 9-card spread. I've never done that. Because that's not what my intention is. I don't look at this book. I'm not using this book. This book means nothing to me. That's not what I want. That's not what I wanted to use the cards for. So that book never really comes out. I don't look at it. I use the Theodora Lau and Laura Lau Chinese horoscope guidebook in order to give me that knowledge or from what I've learned about the compatibilities, and then I use that in a way to make a personal reading for your personality, which means it will only be unique for you. It will only be unique for a rat person. It will only be unique for a horse person. It can't go any other way because the compatibilities change. If I pulled this out for a rat and it was the monkey, tiger, goat exactly like that, it could be, I would see that as a good set of cards for a rat person. That's not a bad set of cards for a rat person at all. But for a snake, that is an awful set of cards. Now, you imagine I pulled out the rat reading one week and it was those 3 cards. Then I pulled out the snake reading on the Wednesday and it was those same cards again. You watch someone come, and I bet it will be a bloody rooster person to come and criticize their, oh, hang on a minute, those cards are different. Those cards are the same. Like, why is it different? How can it mean this for that person or mean that for another person? Because it just does. It's as simple as that. It just does because of the compatibilities between a person or their year they were born and the card that I've pulled out. That's just how it is. I can't change the fact that this goat is from the catalyst triangle. I can't change the fact that this monkey is in the doers triangle. I can't change the fact that this tiger is in the conflict with the monkey, nor can I change the fact it's on the soulmate path with the pig/boar. I can't change any of that because I don't make it up. I've just studied the Chinese Zodiac and the horoscope book and put it to practice in social experiments over the last, I'd say now probably 6 years, 7 years. I also use my own experience and education when it comes to psychology to obviously try and rule out that there are some people that don't act up to their personalities or they don't act the same way as they do in the book, simply because there are obviously other things to take into consideration. But from what I've experienced or what I've come to learn or how this has become useful to me is if I know that somebody is I don't know, let's just say, for example, a rabbit person. If I know somebody is a rabbit person and they are being not rabbit, and their rabbit personality is definitely not showing the characteristics of a rabbit, there could be a reason for that. Whether it be trauma, whether it be like a PTSD or a mental health condition or an issue or something like this. And I have found that over the years, this has become quite valuable and there is a lot to learn here. How it knows, I don't know. I spent many years, maybe 2 years, 3 years trying to prove the book was a load of bollocks. I spent about 3 years or so trying to prove that this book was just coincidence and had no real merit. It was just simply people read it and wanted to agree with it. Unfortunately, I found myself agreeing with it and resonating with my own sign. And personally, I can't lie to myself or deny it to myself. So that was obviously the first thing that got me thinking about it. And from there, I've put it into practice ever since. These cards are a new thing. Moving on to this here now is a new thing, but part of this is not just to see how the Chinese horoscope or zodiac can kind of work or whatever, but it's also to kind of give me that exercise where it comes to my own sort of clairvoyant, spiritual kind of thing. As I say, there are many things that I use here, and my little friends on the other side and what comes through me and what I channel through me is one of them. That's always been a case, and I know that some of the subscribers that have come over here and subscribed to this channel have known me previously from other previous things, so they know that, you know, this isn't my first rodeo. This is just a unique one that I've never looked into or tried before. That's why it interests me so much, and I think what's great about this is it's actually working. People are messaging me, people are emailing, leaving comments, they're getting into contact in various different ways to say that every week for the last 6 weeks, It's just been spot on every single time. And they'd like to know how. And the answer is I don't know how, but if you do want to continue to find out more, then hit that subscribe button. And we'll definitely be doing more readings. As I say, the rat and the ox will be on Monday. So we'll be doing that again. And I have to again express that I am very grateful and appreciate all of the people that have subscribed, taken the time to comment and get in contact, all of the likes. It all really does matter. And it does help that channel, which means we can reach out to more people, which means more people can come in. They can give their perspectives of things and if they're resonating with it or not. And then I can really start to build up like a portfolio of, on average, are more people resonating with it or not? At the moment, I think it's like an 85% of people are resonating with it. And I think that's fantastic. I think that's great. And I would really like to get more feedback from that. As I say, I'm not interested in keep going over and over and over the process or how I do it, or being told that, no, that's wrong. Or, oh, you shouldn't do it like that. Or, well, you should really do it like this. Or, that's your prerogative if that's what you want to do. If you are a card reader, if you do things like this, if you are similar in a way of doing this kind of thing, you do you, sweetheart. Honestly, you do you. I'm going to do me. From my experience, after watching a lot of tarot readers and oracle card readers and rune readers, especially those that focus on star signs, mainly like, well, if not solely, the Western star signs, Aries, Sagittarius, Capricorn, etc. They're pretty spot on with what they're doing, and I've watched a few of those for a while. The thing is with it, I don't really resonate with my sort of Western zodiac. I don't really feel it, and therefore I'm put off of it because I'm sort of more drawn towards the sort of Chinese zodiac more than anything else. So the fact I resonate with the Chinese zodiac, the fact that it is something that I've proven to be able to use for my own means or for what I want to use it for the previous few years, because of these things, it made more sense for me to, when I was looking at doing cards, to do it through the Chinese zodiac and not through the sort of ordinary orthodox kind of Western zodiac, as many people do. And when I started to do these videos, I did look into who was out there doing things on Chinese zodiac, or Chinese zodiac readings, or Chinese zodiac horoscopes, or Chinese zodiac stuff like this. And I haven't really found anybody that is kind of doing what I'm doing. And I do think it's quite unique. And it is tailor-made to that personality. It's also done my way because, as I say, I'm the one doing the cards here. If anybody could do it, if everybody could do it, if you felt comfortable to do it, you wouldn't be here watching these videos. You wouldn't be subscribing. You wouldn't be listening to me and my cards. You'd be out there pulling your own cards. If you didn't trust me, if it didn't resonate, if there was something that didn't sit right, then the chances are you're not going to be watching. But from what I've seen, from what I've heard, from what people have told me, from what I have felt from my own readings about my own, obviously, personality, because once a week I also do a card reading that is a personality, which is me and my Chinese zodiac. So I get all of that information and I can see where it resonates and where it doesn't, and how I get a feeling for that. I'm thinking, it's not far off and it's going well. And the feedback from people is very encouraging, and I am definitely very grateful for those comments and whatnot. And I don't mind if people want to say that didn't resonate with me this week, or yeah, I'm not really feeling that, sorry, that's fine. But when people say, no, you're wrong because you're doing this wrong, or that's not right, or it's like you're not getting it. I don't think you understand the premise. You don't understand the like what it is that I'm actually doing. Because when I say certain things, usually it's because there's a reason for it. Because that's the word I feel I need to use. And that's why sometimes in the video, I'll retract things or contradict things, because I will get a different sort of meaning or a different thing as I start to dig deeper into it. At first, it might be a case that I feel that it's you that doesn't understand what's going on because of whatever it is that I've read or feel or whatever from that. But then as I start to get more information come through, it may not be as simple as that. And it could be other people that are involved and whatnot. And it all comes down to that kind of compatibility between the cards that I've pulled and that person's individual personality. And again, whether or not you're in the same triangle, whether it is a conflict line, whether, you know, that sign is a karmic sign or a catalyst sign or a whatever. We're going to go over this more as time goes by, because I'm hoping that I don't have to do more videos on this. I think in future I'll just sort of direct people over to the disclaimer video, which is in the link in the comments, or just this video in general, and say, look, if you want to get more of an idea of how we do the cards, this is how it's done. And that kind of gives them that general idea. But I think realistically in future, what I really want to concentrate on is the kind of Chinese Zodiac in general. Where the conflict lines are, where the compatibilities are, how these dynamics work, how I use that in the card readings, how I use that in the social experiments that I have done and taken part in, how I kind of use the Chinese Zodiac in the way of compatibility to get people to obviously get along, for example, with that conflict resolution, or to find the solutions to problems. It's so much easier to find an issue or find a solution to an issue when you know that two people aren't compatible because it's communication or because of, you know, whatever reason. And if they aren't getting along, but the Chinese Zodiac dictates that they should, then what is wrong? It makes it easier, and if you're into it, it's time consuming. It takes a lot of work, but once you get into it and you start doing it, as I well know, a lot of you guys that are following me now, you too have purchased this book, and you use this book, and you too have been using it in similar ways that I do, and finding amazing results. I'm going to continue doing these videos. It won't be every Sunday, it'll probably be every other Sunday. Again, I've got lots of things that I'm committed to, and I taking time out of my day every day to do videos is just too much. But I do want to get the information out there, so that there are people that are on more of the wavelength that I'm on than just being complete newbies to it and not really knowing stuff. That's why when I do the readings, I do talk about compatibilities. I do talk about I know that there are some people that watch all the videos, not because they know everybody and their zodiacs and they want to know what everybody is and what they're up to, but simply because the information is there when I talk about compatibilities and I talk about conflicts and I talk about that in the videos. So I thank you for watching and tuning in and being involved. I hope that this video does give a little bit of clarity to how I kind of do the cards and how I do the readings. I hope that it kind of helps people understand that this isn't a typical tarot reading or an oracle card reading or a rune reading that you would usually get. If people want an actual reading, I can give you a reading, but I'm not using these cards. These cards here are specifically and only for this YouTube channel. There is no personal use when it comes to this. These are picked up twice a day. Well, most of the time, picked up twice a day. Once in the morning when I do the first reading of the day, like on a Monday it's a rat, or Wednesday it's a dragon. And then in the afternoon, I'll pick them up again, and I'll do, say, the ox in the afternoon on a Monday. And that's just kind of how it works. I don't pick them up any other time. They just kind of like stay in their box in all their glory until I need to get them out for those readings. Again, as well, people that say or message me and say, are you doing my reading today? Oh, it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm still waiting. I really do appreciate the enthusiasm, and I know the videos are only like anywhere between like 8 to 15 minutes long. I think it averages out at like 3 minutes a card. And like I say, I appreciate the enthusiasm and that support and encouragement. But it's like sometimes I just can't find it in that time in the day to get a reading out straight away. It is going to have to be later on in the day. And sometimes I do the videos in the mornings or whatever, and signal just won't allow it. I don't have Wi-Fi. I am primarily a van dweller. I live in my van. I travel about. Signal can change, which means I'm not able to upload as quickly as I'd like. Sometimes the location is so bad, if I'm parked up on the side of a main road, traffic can just dictate that there isn't going to be a video done until I move. And if I'm busy or I'm there for a particular reason, I'm not just going to move for the sake of doing a 10-minute video when I know that I'll have time in the evening to do that. So you just have to be patient, guys, which I know is a lot easier for some people than it is others, but it is what it is. I hope you have enjoyed this video, even though it has been quite boring. But if you have, just give us a like. Show some support, hit that subscribe button, because we'll be back on Monday for the Rat and the Ox readings, and we'll be back in maybe a couple of Sundays, and we'll start cracking on looking at the compatibilities and all of the Chinese Zodiac in more of a general sense. Thanks for watching, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. Love and peace.